Hi everybody, I'm Chad. I'm going to be doing my project on CodeSys. It's an HMI and IDE and all of the above to do programming and all sorts of things with the Raspberry Pi and other devices as well. It doesn't have to be the Pi. It can be, real industrial equipment that can use this type of tool. So I'm going to do a little demo of this on the Pi. So I'm going to go through a few things. Today we're going to see we're going to talk a little bit about CodeSys. I'm going to show you some links of it. Um, we're going to be using some plugins for this. So I'll show you the plugins that we'll be using to communicate with the Raspberry Pi. I'll also be using another type of kit for the Pi besides what we did, besides the Pi face. Um, I'll include the Pi face on one of the projects, but um, for one of them I'll be using the Cana kit. So that's an add-on for the Raspberry Pi. It looks like this. Hopefully you can see that. There's a ribbon cable that goes into the Pi, the same place that the Pi face digital goes into. And then there's a GPIO pinned output for easy configuration for the GPIO. Then we have a breadboard. We saw this in class. And then we have the wires connecting it as well as an LED light that I'll be using for this part of the project. So, and then I'll be doing 3 demos. One of them is with that breadboard, using all using CodeSys. Another, so I'll be going through. CodeSys is pretty neat. It allows you to do create a web server essentially and go into either through a mobile app or through a website and implement through the HMI configuration. Or you can do it like we did manually on the interface itself on the Raspberry Pi. Push the button, have it interact. Same on the web side of things as well. And then I'll be doing a Pi face digital, same thing that we use for the traffic light simulation. I'll be using the Pi face for that, and then I'll be integrating that with CodeSys. And I'll show a similar thing where I'm using the CodeSys to interact with the traffic light configuration that we have. And then for the third one, I'll be using the Pi and CodeSys, but this time I'll be interacting with 2 Pis. So I have 2 at my desk here, and one of them is an old one. You could probably get it for 15 bucks now. So I have the old one sitting around, and then I have my regular Pi 2 that is here. And what I'll be doing is interacting through Modbus. As you know, that's port 502 that we used before, and we showed how it was insecure. Using if someone could have gone on there, they could do they could do things over port 502 because clear text, and you can see what's going on with that. So I'll be just using Wireshark just to sniff out, just to see that we can see the interaction on Modbus traffic. But I'll have them connecting. I'll send some output, and then we'll be able to see what it's received on the other end. So I have some resources here, so I'll include all this in my presentation if you want to link to it. This just goes into the Raspberry Pi, the image, where to get it, where to go to CodeSys to download the information we need, the plugins, information on the Cana kit, and then installation of the Modbus detail, because we'll need to do some installations on that to get the Modbus working correctly. Essentially, it's a server and a host for Modbus to communicate correctly. All right, so let's get right into it. So CodeSys, here's the website. It's very, very high level here. So this tool can be used for many different areas of industry. And we can get a free trial of it, which is great. And what you do is you go to CodeSys. You have to register in order to get it. Once you're registered, you can download the zip file or the executable. This is only for Windows here. Right now I'm running on a VM. You can do that as well if you only have a Mac. You can just run it on VM. And then we'll also be needing the plugin for the Raspberry Pi, which it's a little silly, but you have to register again to get the plugin through a different registration portal, and then you can download the Raspberry Pi module. And you can do quite a lot of things with it. You can interact with Modbus with the Raspberry Pi module. You can, if you add some other tools, you can interact with EtherCAT, right? ProfiNet. Um, you can do the web visu. This is the web interface that I was speaking on earlier. Um, and you can do all sorts of other things too. You can get really deep into this. You can hook up cameras to the Raspberry Pi and interact with that. You can take pictures with it, do all sorts of things. And then you could use actual real equipment. So you can use these devices down here um, to interact with. This, I believe, is the Pi face, which we'll be interacting with. So you could buy really expensive equipment and interact with CodeSys and watch it visually as well as live what's going on. And then this is the Canny kit. The Canny kit, like I was talking about, has a bunch of LEDs. It has a breadboard. It has the GPIO that connects onto the breadboard. It has the ribbon cable that goes where the Pi face is. And if you don't need the whole kit, because we already have a lot of the tools, you can buy just those components, the resistors, the switches, um, those things for under $15 to add this to it. All right, so I have some files here. I have a code editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and then I have a tool similar to PuTTY to SSH into these devices. And then for the files we'll be using, we have, so that's it. I hope you liked my little demo that I did here. It was pretty involved. It was a lot of fun. I'm not very good with CodeSys, but I'm good enough to learn pretty quickly. It's pretty great. I think I'll play more with it, try to do some more interaction with the Pi with this. So thanks for watching, and go Nova.